Guys, McDonald's waffle fries is back. I also got the spicy chicken nuggets. My husband is a personal trainer. He will not be pleased that I'm eating this. But anyways, I'm stressed. I got the ghost pepper dip sauce. I just realized that I look like a freaking snowman in my like little fuzzy jacket. It's a lazy Sunday, guys. Forgive me. I got sweatpants on and my fuzzy Uniqlo sweater. Hello Planty friends, I am back with a video today and we are going to talk about the mystery Hoya mite. Actually, it's not a mystery anymore. It is, of course, the flat mite. So a little like background story about how I came in contact with like flat mites. I don't know to this day whether I have flat mites or not because I didn't have a microscope, but what I can see, okay, I have really bad eye vision, so I can like see HD without my contact lenses. So yeah, so I'm pretty sure I have flat mites, so I treated it, all my Hoyas that I have, as if I had flat mites. Okay, so anyways, I always thought that some Hoyas were slower growers, some were fast growers. Like, I thought they would just drop leaves randomly. Like I just thought it was a Hoya thing. But then people started talking about flat mites. I'm like, what the hell is flat mites? Like, what are they? And so I started watching videos and kind of doing my research, and yeah, I think I do have them. So yeah, I treated all my Hoyas, and honestly, after the first week of treating them, and I didn't do anything crazy. I just used an insecticide, okay, and I sprayed down on my plants. There were new growths. I have some videos and footages of what I think might be flat mites, and so I will kind of show you, but there are lots of people who talk about flat mites on YouTube. I will put some links down below of some mentions. The Knot Dude has a really good video. It's really informational, and also he has like a microscope, so like he does have like close-up images of what they are like. So check out his video. I will link it in the description box. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through what to look for and how to treat the flat mites. Nothing too in-depth, but just enough so you can get by. But yeah, these are like nasty pests to have. Aside from like thrips or mealybugs, but yeah, these are not fun for sure. But don't worry, with consistency, you will get over this. So without further ado, let's get started. Sorry, a little change of angle. But before I get right into it, I know a lot of people talk about how flat mites just kind of stay on Hoyas. I don't think that is entirely true, because if they are true flat mites, then I saw them on my cacti. I actually threw out those cacti because I'm like, well, there's no point, they were cheap, and also like why bother? Like, I'll just get rid of it because it's gonna be so impossible to clean the crevices anyways. So yeah, like I've seen it on my cacti. I think my Dengui had it too. So I'm like somewhat treating that as well. So let's get into it, and so we'll just start talking about what are flat mites. Okay, I keep changing the angle because I don't know what I like more. I have some empty space now because I actually moved all my Hoyas out. I'm going to be treating them today as well, just because I do this weekly. Anyways, what are flat mites? Flat mites have been around for a long time. It's just no one has really talked about it in North America anyways. I know the Swedish community has already known about it. Orchid collectors, I guess, know about it. So yeah, so this is what we're faced with now. I'm pretty sure they have been around for a long time. It is said to be around for a long time, and just no one was educated on recognizing these things, which is totally fine because, you know, this hobby, it's like ongoing learning cycle. So yeah, yes. So what are they? They are not to be confused with spider mites or the close relative, which is the false mite. They don't spin webs like spider mites. They can appear kind of reddish, especially the egg sacs are red, but they are flat, hence the name flat mite. They tend to lurk around like the petiole and the leaf, or the start of a growth point. So I guess it's like, I think it's called shoot mite. I think that's what it's called. These flat mites, basically they will bite into your plant. They typically hang around in the new growth point because that's where it's soft, right? And so it's easier for them to bite into it. And what they do is they release this poison into your plant, which stunts the growth of it. That's why sometimes you see that your Hoya is not growing, or you have leaves just dropping, like new leaves dropping. So that's one of the telltale signs. Anyway, I'm not gonna get too far into the signs and symptoms. I'm just gonna get through like what they are first. Yeah, so basically the life cycle of flat mites is about 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. That is from larvae to adult. So basically a big population of the flat mites are females, and they will lay eggs. They love laying eggs in the crevices of, like the barky crevices of your Hoyas, like hard to get spaces because the eggs are fragile, and yeah, obviously you want to protect your eggs, right? So they will lay eggs around those areas. So that is why it's really important to be consistent with your treatments, because those eggs you might not be able to get to with just like blasting it with water, or just, you know, spraying it down with your insecticide, because even when you spray with insecticide or you spray with sulfur, it's not going to kill the eggs. I know, unfortunate, which is why you need to be consistent in treating this little flat mite issue. Yeah, so basically you cannot see these mites most of the time with the empty eye. That's what I was gonna say. With a naked eye, you need a microscope to see it. You might be able to see it with a micro lens, or a macro lens on your phone, but it's not. Occasionally you might be able to see it. I mean, like I saw it with my phone, and I saw it with my naked eye. That's why I'm not sure. I'm like, oh, do I actually have flat mites? Because I can see it. But then I have terrible eyesight. I am like -10 without glasses. So I got HD vision when I have my glasses on, and I bring it up to my face. If you won't be able to see it with your naked eye, you're not gonna know. So there are these signs that will tell you whether you have flat mites. So I'm gonna get into that. Oh my god, my phone keeps stopping recording. My phone keeps like stopping the recording because it either heats up or it says it has no space. Thankfully, I have a new phone coming, and I am switching over to iPhone. Hopefully the quality will be a lot better. But anyways, I did take out all my Hoyas, so I'm gonna do some close-ups to give you examples of what flat mite damage may look like. So hopefully you'll be able to identify whether you have flat mites or not. Honestly, I think everyone has flat mites because everyone's been, you know, trading cuttings, selling cuttings, and importing. Like honestly, if you import, you probably have flat mites. So yeah, sorry to say, but don't worry, we'll get through this together. So I'm just gonna go through the treatment options that you can do to get the situation under control. First one and most commonly used, and I think it's probably the most effective from what I've been reading and what I've been seeing, is the sulfur dust spray. The instructions are on here. So basically you're mixing 15 mils of this dust, which is equal to 1 tablespoonful to 1 liter of water. You're gonna mix it and then you're gonna spray it on your plant and just leave it on your plant. I know it covers your plant leaves, so it'll stop them from photosynthesizing for most of the plant, but you can wash it off in a couple of days time. I don't think it's a huge problem. But yeah, this has been really good for people. The only thing is it kind of smells like it's sulfur, so it's gonna smell like egg. So if you can do it in a well ventilated place, that would be good. So sulfur spray. The one that I started using because it was the only thing that I had was the insecticidal soap. You can also get the Safer's miticide. That one will probably work. It works well on spider mites. So this is what I'm using, and so today I'm actually going to do a sulfur spray just because I'm like halfway through the treatment duration. So yeah, so you can use sprays like this. I don't know if systemic works. You can try. Another thing is like you want to blast your plants with water. You can just like wipe out all the mites on there and also exposed eggs. So that would be an option. There is a treatment which I don't recommend, judging from the results of other people, which is the hot water bath. It's very specific on how hot the water gets, and yeah, I think it's really damaging to the plants from what I've seen. So I wouldn't recommend it. If you have something like cheap, like a Hoya Crimson Clean or something, like sure, whatever, like you can try it. And then you can also do like a 1-to-1 ratio of aging. A 1-to-1 ratio of rubbing alcohol and water spray. Kind of like how you would treat mealybugs. But yeah, I totally would recommend the sulfur spray. Yeah, just because like it's good for antifungal too, so it's a win-win situation with this one. Okay, yeah, so I think that's most of the common treatments that I've seen during my small little research party. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you images of the plants now. Before I do that, I'm just gonna show you images of the flat mites that I found. Air quotes, flat mites. This was on one of my IKEA cactuses that I purchased, and you can clearly see the red speckles and the damage around the texturing of the plant. Yeah, it's kind of gross. This is my other cactus where you can see the damage and the flat mites. Flat mites having orgy party at the stem of my Hoyas. New baby leaf falling. I'm not sure if this was dirt or it was flat mites, but these were on my Syningia. This whole entire stalk was turning yellow, and it's probably from the damage of the flat mites. I just cut this entire leaf off and threw it out instead of treating it, but I did spray down the codex. Okay, this is a Hoya New Guinea Ghost. It came with 2 leaves. Upon bringing it home, the new leaf fell off. Obviously didn't know what was going on. I thought it was a Hoya thing. And then months later, it dropped all of its leaves and just left me with a freaking stick. After treating it, I noticed that there was already a leaf. The plants will try to continue to grow. And so that was the first leaf that came out. And then as I continue to treat it, it is growing quite quickly. This was one of the plants that I've seen that people had, and it's just such a fast grower, so robust. And so yeah, I was like, what is wrong with mine? So yeah, so I'm convinced that it is flat mites. You can actually see that it's growing out of the nodes as well, like other nodes. So this is good progress. Yeah, so number 1, you would notice leaves, like either very immature leaves, newly grown leaves falling off of your Hoya. Second one is that there is no growth process. Sorry, no growth progress. Given the fact that I have chopped this plant multiple times because it did revert, it did not push out any growth for a very long time, like for months. I'm telling you, like months. I got this last year and it hasn't done anything for me. So after spraying, I noticed that I had a new growth point here, new growth point up there, and another one coming here, and I also have one underneath here. So you can see that after treating, it just exploded with growth. Yeah, so if you see your plant that has not grown in months, definitely a telltale sign that you have flat mites. So that's number 2 that you can look for. Number 3 would be a stumpy growth. This is not a very good plant example because I don't think I've had too many of that. But so basically, you know how Hoyas grow out from the leaves, and pretty much the shoots will just grow and then they'll die off. They'll grow and then they'll die off. So you end up having a really like clustered sort of growth. So yeah, you're gonna get a stubby growth. This isn't the best representation, but you can see that it's tried to push out new leaves and it's died off and it's fallen off, whatnot. So that is something to look out for. And this leaf was actually the newest leaf, and so this one would be number 4. So scarring. Oh, so scarring of the leaf. This is not normal for Hoyas. Okay, so if you do notice that, I also have another one here. This is my Hoya Matilde. It was growing really well for a long time and then it just stopped growing. So this one, you see that scarring on the leaf. That's a telltale sign. I think I have multiple leaves like that. So let me see if I can find another one. I guess not. Maybe it fell off. Maybe it fell off already. I'm not sure. But yeah, so like if you do notice a scarring like that, for sure, you have something going on. Because this isn't like a humidity thing. Like Hoyas tend to do pretty okay in ambient air. So yeah. This is my Maniparensis. So it was growing really well. It still is growing really well. However, I did notice that the leaves on like above this point where I chopped were turning yellow and they were just falling off. So I thought that was weird. Usually when your plants like kind of start yellowing out of the blue, it could be like root rot, but the roots were totally fine. Like you can see it's fine. So I thought, oh, I must have gotten flat mites. So I did chop that off. I haven't seen new growth yet, but that's something to look out for as well. If you just get like sudden yellowing and then your leaves just start dropping. This one, my Australis, is growing. However, I did have a growth point here with this green leaf. You can see that it's lost a leaf, and that's pretty much what happened when I first noticed, hey, I have new growth, but my leaves are dropping. So dropping leaves. In terms of new growth, this is my Hoya avovada. It is finally growing. I think my Matilde is still recovering, so there hasn't been any progress with that one. This Australis is growing. It's slowly growing. I do have a new growth point there, so I'm going to treat it today. Hopefully it doesn't die off. This one was newly cut at the top, so just waiting for growth to happen. This one you saw earlier, it's growing really well. It's got 3 growth points happening, so hopefully it'll grow bushy soon. This is my Thomsonii. This Thomsonii, I noticed a lot of flat mites on there, so it wasn't growing. I don't think I see any signs of growth. Maybe I thought I saw something green earlier, but I guess maybe it was just like aerial roots. So this one's gonna make its comeback. This is my Hoya Nova Ghost Super Silver. It did take a long time to grow, so I don't know if it was flat mites or it was just kind of spending its energy on rooting, but it's been rooting quite well in pond, so maybe it was flat mites. I don't know. I'm still treating this anyways, but look at its leaf. This is the first leaf that it gave me, and so I have new growth back here. Did you guys know that the Nova Ghost is actually a reverted form of the Argentine? So I hope this shoot is really red, so I hope it's like going to revert back. Not revert back, but turn back into Argentine Princess. Okay, and then you saw this one here. This is my AH074. So growth points, 4 growth points happening there for this plant. And then I have the Hoya caudata. I'm sorry for the messy background there. This one has been growing really well, so it's not close to any of my other Hoyas. So I've just been looping it back on a trellis. However, I did treat it last week and my tips dried off here. So I don't know if it's maybe from the insecticide or it's flat mites. So I'm still gonna treat it. And my Hoya, so this is my Hoya Sunrise. I got it as a 2-leaf cutting. The leaves are still here. It has been growing really well and then it stopped. And look at the dry top. So definitely possibly flat mites. And look how barky it is too. Like, do you see the split here? That's where the flat mites would lay their eggs. So even brushing it and stuff sometimes won't be able to reach those areas. So that's why it's important to be consistent in doing your sprays. No growth for this one, but it looks great though. The last one here is the Hoya Coriana, I think. I don't know. I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry. Because this is such a big plant and it's been like growing, I don't actually know. I don't actually know if it's been growing. I do know it loses its leaves from time to time, but we'll see. I'll still treat it, but the roots are fine. So it's in like a really algae-ridden like thing, and it's kind of dry. So yes, that is the growth with these plants. So I do my treatment every week. I do it when my substrate has dried off, so that when I'm washing them or flushing them with water, that's kind of like new watering for them as well. So yeah, right now I'm going to get into the treatment I'm going to get into the treatment portion of this video. And this is my Syningia. You can see that there are so many growth points on it. It was there before, but it wasn't growing, and then after I chopped the stem off, I guess it's activated, so I have this one growing now. Alright, so I have an electric spray here. I'm gonna put it in the description box where I got this from. Basically, I got this from AliExpress, and it's a USB chargeable, so it's really nice. I just like press and it'll just spray. So it's great. Mosify has one as well. I just got this one because it's cheaper, because I am poor. Anyways, this is about almost a liter. So I'm just gonna fill this up, and I'm going to eyeball the amount of sulfur that I'm going to put in here, because I doubt I'm going to use this whole entire bottle. So no wastage here. I recently got the sulfur and I did not know that the lid was opened. And why do they do this? They do this in protein powder too. Like, it's a huge container and then it's like quarter full. Anyways, that is 1.5. I'm pretty good at eyeballing, so yeah. Alright, so we have that. I hope it doesn't clog up my my spray here. Anyways, I guess I should shake it up first. I'm so bad at this. Okay. Oh my gosh, ew, it's like a milky. What do I even expect? Of course, it's going to be milky. Anyways. Alright, so we're gonna get spraying. I'm not going to blast my plants with water today. I normally do. I'm gonna blast it in 3 days time. So I'm just gonna blast it with sulfur first. I actually don't really smell anything. My sense of smell must be so terrible. Oh yeah, another thing with this spray is you can actually adjust how sharp you want it to go. Isn't that scary? I guess I can do that too. I'm always so scared of like knocking off the new growth, but honestly, I haven't been scared after I found out that, hey, I got flat mites. So that's that. I know I shouldn't be watering with tap water, but I will. I do recommend wearing gloves, especially when you handle insecticides. I personally don't because I'm really rough with my hands and I really should get into the habit of doing that. Anyways, you want to just spray. Make sure you get in every like nook and cranny. Okay, I pretty much sprayed all of my Hoyas, so I'm just gonna leave them in the sink for it to dry, and we will be right back. Okay, this is my Matilde. I know it's a splashy plant, but you can see that the sulfur has like dried on the leaves. I still have it over a grow light, but it's dry now, so I don't know if it actually affects the plant or not. Probably not. I don't think it would, but just in case, if you have like expensive Hoyas, just turn off your grow lights. This is my calamansi aurum. It definitely has not grown since I imported it last year, so yeah, flat mites probably. Anyways, these plants are still drying. It's been a couple hours, so we're making progress. You reached the end of the video. Thank you so much if you made it this far. I really hope that you got some more clarification on what flat mites are and some ways that you can combat this flat mite attack in your Hoya collection. Thank you once again for continuing to support me. I really appreciate it if you smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. You can share with people that you know. Otherwise, I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.